Okay, so today we're tackling fresh pasta, specifically tagliatelle for this recipe, but the technique will work for any cut or filled pasta or pasta sheets. Start with your flour in a mound in the middle of your board, put a well in the middle and crack in your eggs with a little bit of salt. Whisk together the eggs and start to bring in the little bits of flour from the edge as you go. This gradually thickens up the liquid in the middle, meaning it won't run off your board and you can easily bring together the dough. So carrying on, just bringing it in until you've got a kind of sloppy dough in the middle with some plain flour around the outside. Put it together, and then once we've just done this kind of bit with the fork, get rid of the fork and bring in the plastic dough scraper, which is how I prefer to do this. Just makes it a bit quicker. Bring it together, you can kind of chop it together, and this really mixes the egg mix right the way through your flour, just to make sure it's evenly spread, and that when you do start to bring it together with your hands in a minute, that it's not too sticky, it's not a messy dough, it's nice and easy, nice and soft, nice and easy to use. So just folding and squashing that dough there. Okay, so that's enough of the scraper. And then using your hands, just start to bring it together. Start picking up those little bits and pieces around the board that come away. They'll get a little bit stuck to the board. Just pick them up with the scraper like that and amalgamate them into the dough. Once that dough is together, you can start to knead it. So heel of the hand, turning it over with the other, and then just swapping hands throughout the process. Whole process of kneading the dough will take about 5 minutes. And once you've got your dough ready, about 5 minutes later, you'll find it's softened, smooth and a little bit shiny. It will be still quite tight at this stage, so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it and pop it in the fridge. Give it about an hour in the fridge and it'll be much easier to handle. Now starting to roll out the pasta. What we're going to do is start off with, this is actually half of that amount of pasta that we started with. This is enough here for one portion of tagliatelle. This is just for the sake of making the video easy to understand. Obviously you could just roll out the whole lot in one go, particularly if you've got a board big enough to do it. Start mostly in one direction until you're at the stage where the pasta is about 3 times as long as how you started. At this point, fold over 1/3 and then the other to make an envelope fold, turn it round and roll it out again the other way. Then repeat the envelope fold as you did before, this time the other way around. What this does is it strengthens the core of your pasta as well as giving you that nice square shape to get you started out with the rolling. This stage just takes a bit of patience, just gently rolling it out. Roll it, flip it, turn it 90 degrees and just keep going until you start to get the thinness of the pasta, probably about double the width of that original square that you started with. Once you've reached this sort of stage, you can start to fold the pasta over on itself, wrap it around the rolling pin, and this is the point at which you'll really start to see it thin out much quicker. Keep doing the same thing, roll it, turn it, roll it over the rolling pin and keep going. This whole process probably takes 10 to 15 minutes with a little bit of patience, as I say. Don't force it, nice and gentle, just rolling your hands along the edge of the pin. My technique is probably horrendous. I've taught myself how to do it. It works perfectly well for me. It'll work perfectly well for you. But for God's sake, don't show your Italian nonna. She'll have a heart attack, I'm sure. But keep going until you've got your square here. You can just about see the board through. That's thin enough to make tagliatelle. You want a bit of body to it when you're going to cut the pasta. If I was going to make a ravioli or a stuffed pasta, I'd go much thinner than that. So cut a nice square, dust it with flour, liberally dust it with flour now. When we're ready to start cutting the tagliatelle, just make sure it isn't stuck to the board. And what we're going to do is fold over a quarter of the pasta over itself, and then the other side to meet in the middle, liberal dusting of flour, and repeat. Double fold over now, and that's what's going to form your tagliatelle. Or you can cut it thinner, make it tagliolini, or much thicker, make it pappardelle. Either way, you choose at this stage how thick you want to cut it. So just turn it so you can see, and you cut straight through with your knife. The key here is to try and make your cuts as evenly spaced as possible so that you end up with a nice, evenly finished pasta. And once you've gone all the way along, slide your knife underneath and lift from the middle. And the pasta will just fold out like so. Toss it in the flour and you're good to go. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go and have a look at the website at partisanblog.com for the full recipe. Come and see us on Facebook, come and see us on Instagram, like and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Thanks very much.